Hey there! In this video, I'm going to be building the very first structure on my off-grid property. I got this off-grid property, and I'm planning to build a cabin to go fishing out of as cheaply as possible. And to make my life a little bit easier and more comfortable while I'm building this place, I'm going to build an outhouse first. And since I am nowhere near a carpenter or anything of the sort, as this point I didn't even have a high school diploma yet, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to sharpen up on some of my construction skills, get my first taste of off-grid building. If you're interested, be sure to go check out my last video. Now, before I actually build the first structure here, it's kind of important to consider the legality behind all of this, because you don't want Uncle Sam coming in and undoing all of my hard work. So that was one of the big things that I took into account when I actually bought this place, and to say that the building restrictions are relaxed is an understatement. So it's perfect for me and my redneck engineering. Anyways, the very first step in building an outhouse is obviously going to be to dig a hole where you're going to do your business in. That's how I opted to make this outhouse. That way I can always just cap off the hole, dig a new one a few feet over, and then move the outhouse over the new hole. If you're looking into doing this, some people, they take a metal oil drum, do their business in there, and then they go and burn it once it starts to fill up. Depending on the area you're in, digging out a hole might be easy or it could be hard. If you're not in the south, the big thing is that you're not doing it in the winter time when the ground is frozen. For me, the hardest part was just getting through all the roots and the big rocks that were in the ground. And if y'all are interested in how I actually got this property and my plan for the cabin that I'm going to build here, go check out my last video. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, starting from the very bottom, we start with the foundation, if you want to call it that, of this outhouse, which is actually just some cinder blocks, because that is the very cheapest way to do things, and they're not going anywhere. So I dug those in, made sure they were all leveled up, and then I put a pallet on top of that to be the floorboard. Overall, I spent under $50 on this outhouse, and I'll break that down later. The majority of the materials I used in this project were all free, just because I broke down pallets and used all that free wood. If y'all look close enough, there are pallets absolutely everywhere, and the majority of the time, they're absolutely free. So you just have to put in the elbow grease, take them apart, and you have free, sometimes hardwood lumber. So the only things that I actually bought for this project were 4 2x4s, one of them going in each corner, the cinder blocks that I mentioned before, and only one single piece of galvanized metal roofing. I actually got the other piece from one of my neighbors for absolutely free. I also got these 2 free pieces of wood to support the roof as well. Everything else that I used, down to the fasteners, I either had already or I got for free. So once I had the 2x4s in each of the corners all connected to that pallet used as the base, and those longer pieces that were going to support the roof, I really just filled everything else up with the pallet wood. The biggest issue I ran into building this outhouse was actually putting the door up. Since I built the door myself out of, you guessed it, pallets, pretty difficult to get it all leveled out and straight, especially since I didn't have any big screws and I only had like 3 washers. So I ended up using nails and bending them around the hinges to keep the door in place. I also picked up this 55-gallon plastic drum so I can collect some rainwater or go pick up water from the nearby lake and wash my hands, shower, cook, you name it. One of the reasons I love using these free pallets as the siding is because once they start to rot away, I can just go take apart more pallets and replace them super easily. And once they get weathered in a little bit, they blend into the surroundings really nicely, and I think it looks great. And y'all can take a guess at how long it was sitting on the property to get to this point. I will say at one point, a strong wind came through and actually blew the whole thing over, so I had to get a piece of rebar and drive it into the ground to secure the outhouse to the ground. For the seat, I actually used an old toilet seat that I had sitting in my mom's basement for a few years that she was glad to get rid of, let me tell you. It's not beautiful, but this isn't exactly luxury living. Also, while building my cabin, I utilized the extra spray foam that I had left over and tried to seal up some of the gaps so spiders won't get in. In the end, this is how much I spent on everything I bought to build this outhouse, so it came out to be just about $40 in total. Overall, I'm happy with this project, even though it's far from perfect, so don't roast me too hard in the comments, but be sure to let me know if there's anything you think I should add to this property or incorporate into my cabin. Subscribe if you like this video to follow along on my journey building this cabin.